let's take a look at our top selections for Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. One of 5 stakes races at Pimlico on Sunday is the Shine Again. It features some of the best Mid-Atlantic-based filly and mare dirt sprinters in the region. Let's take a look at this field. It's 100 grander. We are going 3/4 of a mile. Hello Beautiful has won half of her 14 lifetime starts. Anna's Bandit has won 17 times in her career. Don't Let Sweet Fool You was on a 5-race win streak earlier in her career, but the big name is the flawless Chub Wagon. A perfect 6 for 6. She's won from on the lead. She's won from off the lead. She's won on wet. She's won on dry. What kind of trip would you give her from the rail?
From the rail, you just got to go, Dan. I know that they, raided successfully last time, sitting in behind horses and then winning pretty easily when she came clear from the rail against this field. You just have to come out of there running and try to make the lead. It'll be very interesting to see what happens. What I'm hoping for more than anything else, Dan, is that she shows up and that Hello Beautiful, the number 2, bounces back with one of her good efforts here, because it feels like it could be a real horse race if those two both show up.
And we throw up the Timeform US pace projector. Timeform US is the 5. Don't Let Sweet Fool You on the lead. And Don't Let Sweet Fool You was able to make the lead over Chub Wagon last month in the Ski Pat Stakes at Pimlico. But she draws outside the other 2 speeds, and I agree with you. Chub Wagon went gate to wire in her first 5 starts. I don't think they want to take a chance of being in behind Hello Beautiful and Don't Let Sweet Fool You here. I think Chub Wagon's going to go, and I think that would be fine for Hello Beautiful, and they might be racing 3/8 out.
Yeah, I feel like that's possibly the way this race sets up. And if it does set up that way, I think it really hurts Don't Let Sweets Fool Ya, who is a good horse in her own right, Dan, but I don't think she wants to be matching with those 2 horses from start to finish.
Here's Chub Wagon winning the Ski Pat at Pimlico. And again, a lot of folks thought she was just going to end up on the early lead. She was very content to sit the pocket. She gets to the outside. You see Don't Let Sweet Fool You in front. Chub Wagon just goes right by her, holds off the closers. It was your typical rock-solid performance for a filly that thus far has done no wrong.
Yeah, it just keeps showing up and running good races. I like this performance from her, if only because she showed a new dimension. You can see there through the stretch. Just sort of confidently handled by Irad, never in any real danger in there, just much the best. This is a tougher race from top to bottom, so it feels like she's going to have to probably get back to one of her really fast efforts, but I don't, see why she wouldn't do that, Dan. She's just a really good horse.
Although Hello Beautiful was the beaten favorite at 2-5 in the Grade 3 Barbara Fritchie last time out, I think she had a lot of things working against her. She was embroiled in a wicked pace duel from the start with Don't Let Sweet Fool You. On paper, it looked like a match race, but they dueled themselves into defeat. Hello Beautiful now turns back to 6 off a little bit of a break. I like her better at 6 than 7. A wet track would help, and if Chub Wagon goes, maybe she has a tiny target.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I mean, she's obviously, to me, she's a really good horse. And I feel like, if she shows up and runs her best race, Chub Wagon might have her hands full with this horse. I mean, Hello Beautiful is really good. And you made all the excuses for her Barbara Fritchie, Dan. It just didn't work out for her, and it wasn't her best performance. But it's not like it was a total disaster. Her overall form is very good, and it's going to be a horse race if she shows up.
The number 3, Never Enough Time, is expected to improve second off the layoff for Mike Trombetta. She ran in the Ski Pat last time out, was no match for Chub Wagon. She's been beaten a couple of times by Don't Let Sweet Fool Ya. But if this pace heats up, she's kind of one of those mid-pack runners that might be able to churn on for a piece at a price at the very least.
Yeah, you could consider using her underneath. We'll see if she can work out the right kind of trip in here and then just take that step forward that she needs. Obviously, off the layoff against Chub Wagon last time, she has plenty of excuses.
I think the sleeper in this race, Mike, is the 4, Unique Factor, especially if you believe this pace is going to come apart, because she very well might be the best closer for trainer Peter Miller. Talk about a tough spot for a seasonal debut. They put her in the Derby City Distaff against Gamine, and when Gamine walked the dog on the lead, she had simply no chance. A couple of her other sprint races are good against lesser competition. She just seems like a good fit here. Now she has to run one of her better races.
Yeah, I thought she was a good fit too. And it does feel like the race could really set up the right way for her. I do think she's the best closer in the field. She's a filly who wants to sit back and make one run. The last time she won that Churchill Downs race last June, that race set up perfectly for her. I mean, she had a lot of trouble at the start of that race too and overcame it. But it just really helped that they went a really fast pace in front of her and she came running.
Don't Let Sweet Fool You had her 5-race win streak snapped in the Barbara Fritchie when caught in that wicked pace battle with Hello Beautiful. And after that race, nothing went right for her, according to her trainer, Lacey Gaudette. She was one of the horses that tested positive for equine herpes virus. She missed 3 weeks of training because of the quarantine. Then because of the ongoing track renovation at Laurel, she couldn't get settled until they got to Delaware and got stalls for Lacey there. All things considered, I thought Sweets ran just fine when fourth in the ski pat. She should be tighter for this outing, and maybe this time they decide to let the two speeds go and try to track third.
Maybe they do. The question is, if they ride her that way, is she as good without the lead? Because so far she's been a horse who's been at her very best on the lead. And listen, excuses or not, she was no match for Chubwagon last time. So she's going to just have to find a way to do better. I just sort of felt like she's a good horse, Dan. I feel like the two horses drawn to the inside just might be better than her.
Paisley Singing is a nice, solid optional claimer that might find this stakes race a bit too tough. At least she's coming into it in good form. Let's watch her race at Delaware 11 days ago. Optional claiming event for Paisley Singing, and she got right up close to the pace in this race. She draws away at a 6-1 mutual. She'll be a big price yet again. And if this track remains wet, they had to cancel racing after 2 at Pimlico on Friday due to rain. She likes a wet track.
She does like a wet track. She's just going to have to do a lot better, Dan. And she's a filly now who, if you're just going through her races one by one, she just likes to race up close to the pace. That's not going to work out for her in here.
Trainer Justin Nixon is already upset. Don't Let Sweet Fool You and Hello Beautiful. Did it with Hibiscus Punch and the Barbara Fritchie. This would be a bigger shocker, I think. Lucre, 30-1 on the morning line. Lucre got the cash in this muddy track race at Pimlico on April the 25th. Way out of it, turning into the stretch, down towards the inside. She is going to be able to get third in this starter optional claiming race. She won it 2 starts back. I think she's coming into the race the right way. This is a good effort, but against much weaker horses.
Yeah, good effort. And another step in the right direction, Dan. She just it feels like she keeps improving race to race. But boy, I mean, how much more does she have to improve to go with these horses? I guess they'll sit back and make one run again. We'll see how close she can get.
And one of the more popular horses on the entire circuit is the number 8, Anna's Bandit. How could she not be popular? She's won 17 of 36 lifetime starts. It's great to see her back for Jerry Robb for a 7-year-old campaign. We just haven't seen her since the summer of last year. Let's watch that race, the Dashing Beauty. I didn't think this trip really worked out for her. She ended up far behind early. Xavier Perez wanted to get to the outside, then had to angle back in. I thought she did well to only be beaten 4 lengths. She was beaten by a nice horse. Shallone's legitimate graded quality.
Yeah, true enough. I mean, she runs fine in this race. She's not really a threat in here, but the trip wasn't great, and I thought she ran fine. It's a very long layoff. It's a very tough spot to come back in, but she shows up every time, and she's one of the few horses in here, Dano, I feel like, just sitting off the pace a little bit and trying to close in the stretch. I mean, she can do that effectively.
That layoff, though, is a concern. You brought up the points that Jerry Robb brought up when I talked to him earlier today. Layoff against this tough field might be too much. Maybe next time for Anna's Bandit. Let's take a look at our picks for the Shine again. You're going with Chubwagon. Why not? I wouldn't jump off the wagon. She's 6 for 6 lifetime. Hello Beautiful, though, to me. I think turning back to 6, maybe getting a target with Chubwagon is going to help. She has plenty of races and figs good enough to win.
Yeah, I have no argument with that. I do think she's a major player in here. I'm going to stick with the undefeated horse and just see what she does here as they find it feels like another good spot for her. I'm still wondering when they're going to really test her. And this is a good test for her. We'll see what happens after this race if she comes through it successfully. I'm going to try to get that closer in there, Unique Factor, up for second.
I was just going to say, keep an eye on Unique Factor from the back of the pack, especially if this pace is really, really fast up front. 1428 for Mike, 2148 for me. It's the Shine again, and it's one of 5 stakes races at Pimlico on Sunday. Good luck.